I'm Carl Johnston. I work here at MEM Media. I'm doing a quick presentation on a problem that we've had. The problem we have with the MEM website is that we've got a lot of content that's arranged into a hierarchy by category. So by that, our content is arranged into news, sport, entertainment. Then below that, we have business and sport, we have football, entertainment, we have music. And they go down into a third level, we've got Manchester United, Manchester City, and so on and so forth. It's pretty typical for a newspaper website. What we have then in each of those categories, so in news and in news business and so on, we'll actually have articles, video, comments, whatever the actual contents are. So originally when we were designing the site 2 years ago, we said, okay, what's the best way of doing the site in Catalyst? The advice and the best way we came up with at the time was to use a base class. So we basically have a standard section-based class, which has got all our index, stories, RSS, all our standard actions for each section of the site. And then basically what we have is we basically then have a lot of classes for each section. So we'll have a news class and sports class. They're actually all done in separate files, and part of the reason we did it like that as well was to allow us to do overrides and things like that where we need to. We've got further down the line and found out that the overrides aren't as important. The big problem is now we've got 250 categories, or more, I think it's about 180-ish when I actually did the search. So our actual, when we start a Catalyst, our debug looks a little bit
tiny section of it.
Kind of like that. It's actually got over 7,000 lines of debug output, basically just listing the actions. The whole thing goes well because there's so many classes, it is really slow to load. We were looking at times of around about 1 or 2 minutes to actually just start the apps. So it's got to stage, we run 3 very, very similar apps for various different newspaper sites on our servers. It got to the point where restarting Apache was kind of killer. So for a solution, what we've done is we decided that essentially what we wanted to do is we've got a whole bunch of prefixes and a whole bunch of suffixes where we want to actually match things. We want to pair these up. So what we'll do, we'll have a go and build our own custom dispatch type. So we basically took apart Catalyst dispatch type path because we only wanted the path actions and rebuilt it to suit what we wanted. So the goal, is to have something like this. So basically what we'll do is we'll specify our own index by men slash, men RSS, and basically put the path part exactly the same as the path controller would be in the Catalyst. And then what we'll have is we'll have a separate config file where we actually define all the sections and some of the other things that we were actually specifying in some of the controls beforehand, things like advertising rules and things like that. So start off basically define our dispatch type MEN, pull in simple tables to the output. We wanted to keep the list of suffixes in a specific order, so we use entire array sorted to pull that in. So first of all, start off you create a new to do all our initialization. So we're setting up our array of suffixes. We want to order them by length. So when we do the matching matches the shorter URLs before it matches the longer URLs. And then we load in all the prefixes from the config file, which I'm not going to go into. So then you alter your register function, and basically we're going to catch the MEN attribute on the actions and register them. Again, this is exactly the same as it does in the path, which uses a register path function, which actually does that. What we do basically is we look at what the path is wanted, and down here we could pre-compile a regex, which is actually used at runtime. So basically, for all the suffixes, we pre-compile a bunch of regexes to run through for speed. List actions so that we can have the output in the debug. Now our debug basically just says all of our, whatever it is, 6 or 7 actions rather than the 7,000 lines worth. And then URI for action, we can emulate. So for URI for action, basically we said we've got, essentially, we know what the suffix is, but we don't know what the full path is. So we basically have to undef that. Finally, we've got match, which is basically what's called a dispatch time. So it calls into the dispatcher, it checks through the regexes to see if it matches, checks to see if it matches any of the prefixes, sets up the request. Again, it's just taken straight out of dispatch type path and hacked to make work. Caveat is, we've done this, we've been putting it into testing, but we haven't actually put it into production yet or ironed out all of the bugs. Questions? 5 minutes are up. Barbie. Well done.